Hi and hello everyone. My name is Aidarina Jakaria. I'm from University Malaysia Sabah, and it is a great pleasure to welcome all of you to my presentation today. First of all, I would like to thank our panel of evaluators, lecturers, and everyone present for taking the time to join this session. Today, I will be presenting my research title, Determination about Retirement for Young Workers, Behavioural and Psychological Factors from the Sabah's Rural and Urban Areas. This study is inspired by the growing importance of retirement planning, especially among young workers, as Malaysia faces rapid changes in employment patterns, income structures, and lifestyle choices. Throughout this presentation, I will share key insight on how behavioral and psychological factors shape retirement decision, the differences between rural and urban workers, and what policy recommendations can help improve financial security and preparedness for the future. I hope this presentation will offer valuable perspectives on how we, as individuals and as a society, can build a more sustainable and inclusive approach to retirement planning. So without further ado, let's begin with the introduction of my study. Introduction and objectives. Retirement is a complex and subjective process influenced by personal, social, and psychological factors. Bear 1986. Individuals perceive retirement differently, and some view it has a loss of social value, others as a positive life transition. Said and Sarwar, 2016. Theories such as disengagement, continuity, and role theory explain how retirees adapt socially and psychologically. Retirement planning reflects individuals' preparation for life changes and future well-being. Mustafa et al., 2017. The theory of planned behavior, Adjun, 1991, provides a framework to understand attitudes, intentions, and behaviors in retirement decision. In Sabah, disparities between rural and urban young workers differ in income, financial literacy, and access to services that impact retirement behavior. The objective of the study aims to compare influencing factors and challenges in both contexts and offer policy recommendations for improved retirement planning. Problem statement. When it comes to retirement planning, young workers in Sabah confront significant obstacles, while urban workers, despite having greater information, contend with high living expenses and erratic income, particularly in the gig economy. Rural workers frequently lack access to formal retirement plans and financial literacy. Malaysian research so far has mostly focused on financial elements, ignoring behavioral and psychological factors that influence retirement goals and choices. Many young workers are at danger of experiencing financial insecurity in the future as a result of this gap, which restricts the effectiveness of policies and interventions. Literature review. Previous studies have largely focused on financial literacy and macroeconomic impacts, but limited research integrates behavioral and psychological determinants of retirement planning. Job satisfaction, financial literacy, cultural norms, and social roles are significant predictors of retirement behavior. Theories of aging and TPB provide a framework to understand attitudes, intentions, and behaviors, highlighting the role of financial knowledge, risk tolerance, and socio-economic conditions. Methodology. The study targets young workers aged 18 to 35 in rural and urban Sabah. A stratified random sampling method ensures representation across both groups. Structured questionnaires are developed and pre-tested with data analyzed using smart PLS and guided by G-Power for sample size determination. The approach ensures validity, reliability, and ethical data collection. Findings. The results emphasize the importance of early retirement planning and financial literacy for rural workers, low income, limited financial services, and cultural reliance on family support hinder retirement preparation. Urban workers, although more financially literate, struggle with high living costs and work-related stress affecting long-term savings. The growth of the gig economy adds further challenges as gig workers often lack structured retirement benefits and stable income streams, leading to inadequate savings. Table shows the rural versus urban comparison. Rural versus urban comparison. Rural young workers, lower income and limited access to financial services versus urban young workers, higher cost of living affects a saving ability. Rural young workers, lower financial literacy and fewer job opportunities versus urban young workers, better access to investment options and advisory services. Rural young workers, strong cultural reliance on family and community support versus urban young workers, exposed to fast-paced lifestyle and work stress. Rural young workers, difficulty saving for retirement due to economic constraints versus urban young workers, more financially informed but face spending pressures. Conclusion and recommendation. The study concludes that behavioral and psychological factors significantly shape retirement decisions. Both rural and urban young workers recognize the importance of retirement planning but adopt different strategies based on contextual challenges. Policy recommendations include enhancing financial literacy programs tailored to rural and urban contexts, expanding inclusive retirement scheme for gig and informal workers, incentivizing voluntary contributions to EPF and PRS, and designing awareness campaigns to reduce psychological barriers to retirement planning. Targeted intervention can ensure financial security and sustainable retirement income for Malaysia's future workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, with that I conclude my presentation. In summary, this study emphasized the importance of early and inclusive retirement planning, highlighting how behavioral and psychological factors shape young workers' decisions in both rural and urban Sabah. I sincerely hope the insights shared today will contribute to better awareness, stronger policy support, and a more secure financial future for all Malaysians. Thank you very much for your time and attention.